What's up you guys, Nathan B Tech here. Today is a very exciting video because we have the release of the S26 series. Is Samsung still going to hold their crown as the king of Android, or are they falling off? And that's what we're going to find out in today's video. Have they done enough to innovate, or are they playing it too safe to the fact that they're strangling themselves? They're in an interesting position. On one side, they have to be the face of Android, and they have to be safe, and they have to reduce risk. But on the other side, their whole backstory is innovating. The whole reason that they're here is because they innovated and they did a lot. So in today's video, we're gonna find out, does this hold up the crown for 2026, or has this created a hole for other OEMs to penetrate? Pause. So without further ado, my name is Nathan B Tech. Let's get into this video. S26 Ultra, let's go. In today's video, I'm actually going to start off with the display. Reason being is because Samsung is using some pretty cool new tech that's never been done before, aka innovating, which is quite odd nowadays for Samsung. But nevertheless, it's great to see not a new AI feature, but a physical hardware feature. It feels like we're living back in the good old days. But I digress. We have what's called privacy display. Now, personally, I've used it all the time at work. I've used it in certain scenarios where if I am checking my bank account, it just gives me that peace of mind, and it has worked fantastically. I thought it was going to be a gimmick myself when I was looking into it, and then once I got to see it in person, I was amazed. It's really cool. I recommend all of you guys to just go check it out. Even if you don't even care about the 26 series, this is definitely going to trickle its way out to other devices pretty soon. I don't expect it not to. I think this is the biggest selling feature of the 26, and I think a lot of people who have been holding off on upgrading, this is a very compelling reason to upgrade, and for that reason, I think it's cool. Now, aside from that fun feature, the display itself is still really good. It's still going to be great and vibrant and bright. It's 2600 nits peak brightness, and you have adaptive refresh rate from 1 to 120 hertz. Ultimately, no issues there. There have been a couple reports online of people saying that Samsung has went backwards a little bit when it comes to looking at the 25 Ultra versus the 26 because of the anti-reflective properties. Personally, I think it's worth the sacrifice, and it's not a big deal to me, honestly. I think people are nitpicking in that particular scenario. It's very minor. And also, people are saying the side angle viewing from Ye has slightly got a reduction as well. Once again, I think that's more of a nitpick of people just trying to find a reason to be upset, because I don't know anyone who looks at their phone like this. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know anyone who does this with their phone. Most people hold their phone like this, so I'm gonna disregard that. For anyone who's curious about that, I think the display looks great. Now, when it comes to processing power and engine underneath the hood, it is rocking the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 4 Galaxy processor. So it's slightly higher clock, therefore it is technically the fastest processor you can get on Android on the market as of right now. You're also getting that paired with 12 gigabytes of RAM and potentially 16 if you do get the 1 terabyte model. And then lastly, you do have the 5000 milliamp hour battery. One noticeable thing that they did do is they increased the vapor chamber to be even larger for longer sustained use over time, whether you're gaming, you're recording, etc. So that is always a welcome thing to see. And honestly, I don't know what to tell you guys. It's the fastest phone on the market. It's going to do everything you need it to do. And if you're not satisfied with the performance, there's no other options as of right now. So it's the best thing that you can get right now. I've done a couple gaming sessions with it myself. I played Car X and I put it on max settings and I turned on the frame rate to uncapped and it performed smoothly. And that game, honestly, I feel is a little demanding just because it looks good and you got the draw distance, etc. No issues. It's been performing great. In terms of the battery has been great as well. Although Samsung has not changed their battery size in several years, one thing that they have been doing, and I will give them props, is they have been making their phones more efficient over time. Whether that's the help of the newer processors and just some software tricks that they've been doing in the background. Although the battery is still the same, these phones last longer than the previous models. Samsung has become rather quickly over time one of the better efficiency brands. What I've preferred them to use, lithium silicon carbon 100%. Obviously you can get some bigger batteries into that, but I don't think it should be a concern for anyone who is worried about it. Especially since they did pair it with faster charging this year. You can now charge the Ultra model up to 60 watts. So now we are in laptop territory, and it is fast, right? So ultimately, performance wise, this phone is one of the best that you can get. You're not having any sacrifices besides maybe a little bit less battery than what a OnePlus 15 or something of that nature will offer with that larger cell. But like I said, I think you should have no problems there. When it comes to the design, Samsung has rounded the corners. They shaved off a little bit more off of the corners, even more. Arguably, it is for the best. You know, less of a dent indentation on your palm, and realistically it should be better. You're not losing any screen size. It's still a 6.9-inch display. However, one thing that I will mention is, since they've shaved the corners so harshly, they've also had to accommodate that with the pen as well. So I don't know if this is going to focus just because we're using a wide angle lens, but the pen itself is actually carved as well. So you can now put the pen in the wrong way and it will protrude out a little bit. Not a big deal, but just something to take in mind. Me personally, I think Samsung has a design language with their Ultra/Note series devices, and them shaving the corners to this extent makes it kind of look aligned with the standard S26 Plus or the standard S26, just larger. I think it's starting to lose its Ultra moniker because of that, just because what made the Note series so great, what made the Ultra series so great, was just how rectangular it was, and it screamed a different presence when you pulled it out of your pocket. It looked industrial, it looked business, it looked cool, it was different, it had its own design language that no one was really copying. And obviously I get it, we got to make it more ergonomic. I just think as a preference, I would have preferred the large, you know, the square design. That also does make me interested on what they're gonna do with the Z Fold series going down the roads, because I mean, you can see it still has that square design. That's essentially it. One of the biggest problems is they've made it thinner, which is great. However, with thinness, you still can't shrink the camera modules. So the rock on this phone has been some of the worst I've seen on a phone ever. I've even put a case on this guy, and even with the case, the phone will still rock when on a flat table. So it has become very frustrating using this phone when it's on a table, and the biggest problem with that is it has an S Pen. And when I use my S Pen, I have the phone down flat on a table so I can write, and the phone rocks as I'm writing or playing a game or tapping somewhere with the pen. Even with my finger, the phone rocks ridiculously. I think Samsung is gonna have to do something about that, because it's starting to negate the pen. But besides that, besides minor gripes that I have, the design is great. It's more ergonomic. It is ultimately for the better of everybody. I'm just being a little selfish because I thought the design language was cool, and maybe I got a couple of you guys that agree with me. Now, when it comes to software, Samsung is using One UI 8.5 running on Android 16. And essentially what that includes is it's now got what's called Now Nudge, which is a replica of what Google Pixel's Magic Q is. Bear in mind, it does require the Samsung keyboard to use, but it suggests, you know, relevant information to your keyboard when it feels that it is relevant. So essentially, if you were at the airport and someone texted you, hey, what terminal you're in, it would kind of suggest, hey, we know you're in terminal D, you can send this as a quick reply, or send location, something of that nature. Now, when it comes to these features, even on the Pixel with Magic Q and with the Samsung with Now Nudge, very situational, and I've not got it to work for me. It's only showed up a couple times for myself where it's suggested to put my phone number in a fill-in box that had nothing to do with my phone number. So it does need some work to do. I wouldn't get too excited about that. It's just kind of like Now Brief, where it seemed very promising in the beginning, and to this day it's still got some work to do. Another feature that is currently with the S26 series is the agentic AI, which just means that it is able to do tasks for you, which would be like multi-action tasks across your application without you having to do it yourself. So for example, hey, go pick me up some food from Wingstop and have it delivered to my house. It can now do all the actions up into where the form of payment is. So I know a couple applications are being used as of now, with more to come. However, I wouldn't necessarily say this is a AI feature that is exclusive to the S26 series. It is going to come out to more devices. For example, it's already out to the Pixel series as well. So it's just a matter of time. It's just a exclusive first I have it first feature, but I don't think it's anything that is going to be substantial along the way. More phones are going to get it. The S25 series is going to get it. It's going to roll out to more devices. So when it comes to AI, I just kind of push that to the side because it's kind of for everybody, and it's sometimes not even useful. But when it comes to the software itself, Samsung has done a really good job at optimizing their software. Back in the day, they were always known for being the slowest with animations and the worst animations and the choppiest animations. And just like on my Z Fold 7 review, I said the animations were like butter, and along with this phone, this S26 series, it has gotten only better. Samsung has made it super smooth. It is butter, just like hot butter with a knife. It is smooth, man. And I don't think there's any reason that you should have any problems with it. You're also going to get 7 years of software updates and 7 years of security updates. It's going to be a great device. And then lastly, when it comes to the camera experience, you are getting your 200 megapixel camera with your 50 megapixel ultra wide and your 10 megapixel telephoto zoom lens. It is good. So this year, Samsung did widen the aperture on the camera itself, so you can get a little bit more low light photography. It should help out in general with just every shot, just allowing more light for, you know, the processor to kind of comprehend and kind of do its thing. But ultimately, really good. Nothing to go wrong there. Samsung's post-processing has always been known to be slightly saturated over what more of a natural color would look like. Honestly, I prefer that because when I look back at my memories, I want it to look vibrant and cool and great. Just kind of like how you would have a dream, right? But I mean, it's a solid shooter. Here's a couple shots and videos that I did with it just in my time of reviewing the phone and going out into the wilderness and kind of getting some cool shots with it. And it's a solid camera. I don't think you have any reason to be upset with it. A new feature that actually came out with this camera is called horizontal lock, which is a really cool feature if you do find yourself using it. It is essentially, once you press it and activate it, it'll be locked onto the subject that's in front of you, and you can do some wild stuff. You can run. It's essentially like stabilization on steroids. I would almost say it's like a gimbal, just about, where you can physically rotate your phone 180 degrees, 360 it, and it still will have the main lock on the subject. What Samsung did to kind of give an example is they had a little dog running, and they're running with the dog, and I mean, it's super steady, and it's a cool feature. I'd say it's definitely another fun feature, and I think it's a first. I don't think anyone else is doing that yet. So once again, Samsung stepping up to the plate and adding a new innovation feature. That being said, how do I feel? What's the final verdict with the S26 series? I'm going to just specify the Ultra, right? I think Well, where are we at? The OnePlus 15, the OnePlus 15, I think it is, I think it, right as of right now, unless we get something crazy out of the ballpark, I think Samsung is leading the way right now. I think with the privacy display, the horizontal lock, I think with the, you know, fastest processor, that's just a given. I think Samsung still has the lead in terms of what we have right now. Now, bear in mind, when I speak on this video, I don't have access to Oppo and Xiaomi and all of those cool phones. I just have what I got in the States. So on that perspective, I think Samsung's still leading the industry. I think they've done just enough to make it a meaningful upgrade for those who are coming from 22s, 23s, you know, Pixel 8s of the world. And I think it's a good option. Typically, these past couple of years, Samsung has removed features like the battery and the stylus. Why they do that, we'll never know. As well as, you know, just not really innovating. And I will give Samsung props this year. They actually did some new stuff. I think the privacy screen is a cool feature, and I think the horizontal lock is a cool feature. And I think that will solidify them very barely. I think the competition is catching up drastically, but I think they solidified their crown for 2026. Like I said, if something comes out later this year that we're not prepared for, it's very possible that it might take the shine. But as of right now, with the features given, with this processor, with everything, all AI components aside and stuff like that, I think Samsung's in a safe spot. Now, going into the future, I hope that they do use silicon carbon batteries and we get a bigger battery. I'm glad that we have 60 watts now. That's great. But I think they're holding on to their crown. As the safe option, as the great option, I think Samsung's holding on to their crown. But you guys let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. How do you feel about the 26? Do you think it has enough? Do you think it has what it takes? Do you think it has what it takes to stand up to 2026? Or do you think something, and if you have an idea, if you know of a phone coming out, what do you think is going to dethrone Samsung? Phone of the year? Question mark? We'll have to find out. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I love y'all. Peace.